In this video, I talk about the newly released Hellboy, the Crooked Man movie trailer. Let's go. Hello, YouTube. Axiomat here once again. And that new Hellboy trailer, I loved it. Plain and simple. I was blown away. It was unexpected. As a huge Hellboy fan, had no idea there was new movie coming out. So when I woke up that morning, saw the trailer drop, I was like pretty much the majority of everybody. I thought, this is kind of like a fan made thing. Or when I realized that it was a legit film and what I saw on screen, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now, I understand the negativity that's kind of circling around out there behind the film or the trailer for the film. But I'm going to get into that on why I liked it and why I think it's got a lot of potential. Now, if you're not familiar with Hellboy, Hellboy, published by Dark Horse Comics, created by the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Mignola, huge Mignola fan. Hellboy is a horror comic, essentially. It is a horror comic. Now, while I love what Guillermo del Toro did with the first two films, the Ron Perlman films, I love those movies. You know, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, Hellboy getting drunk off at the lights. What's not to love? That's one of my favorite scenes, of those two movies. I always felt like the theme of it was too fantastical. It didn't really capture the essence of horror as it pertained to Hellboy. And then the newer film came out with I forget the guy's name, the cop from Stranger Things. I apologize. I don't want to edit, so I'll just stick with this. And they kind of went with a whole horror gore theme. So it's like a lot of like blood and more slasher, less what Hellboy's supposed to be. So I wasn't really on board. So what I saw in this trailer was more along the likes of The Conjuring with the Sixth Sense. And that's what Hellboy is supposed to be, at least in my opinion. You know, it's supposed to be more along those lines. The only thing that was missing from the trailer was like a quip, a funny joke, because anybody that reads Hellboy knows that he's put in these really messed up situations, horror situations, and he always finds a way to make it funny, at least for the reader, where you're like kind of like, oh man, this is so you're looking at this great Mignola artwork where he's the master of negative space, shadows, and things of that nature, and he's telling these stories, and yet Hellboy always finds a way to make a joke that kind of makes you chuckle as you're turning the pages, kind of like Spider-Man, but instead of the Green Goblin, he's fighting La Llorona or La Baba Yaga, that kind of something. And that was the only thing missing from the trailer, and I kind of like that because I hope I see it in the film. But what I saw so far, I'm digging it. And I think it is finally kind of capturing the essence of the Hellboy comic, not taking anything away from the last two iterations, at least the film adaptations, just my take on it. And I do want to point out a couple of other things. If you're not familiar with Hellboy, I highly encourage you to pick up a book from your local comic book shop or from a a convention, anything from Hellboy with the BPRD, which is the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, hence the shirt, or just his own stories without the BPRD. Hellboy and the Right Hand of Doom. There's a lot of titles out there. Just look for them. We are actually celebrating his 30th anniversary as far as publishing goes. There's things out there like Mike Mignola's The Quarantine Sketchbook. I picked this up at last year's San Diego Comic Con, and the artwork in this is spectacular. Yes, I said the word spectacular because it is. I'm a big fan of his artwork. As I said, he is the master of negative space and just, you know, some might say he's an acquired taste. I'll give you that. He is. Um, Art is subjective, right? I personally love his artwork. And one last kind of shameless plug, not shameless, I'm very proud of this as a Mignola slash Hellboy fan. I contributed to the documentary Drawing Monsters. And because I did so, and because of the tier I chose when I made my contribution, I actually come out in the credits in this documentary. So my fanboy heart was going crazy. As soon as I saw my name, I did that Leonardo DiCaprio, thing. And I was so stoked. It was so awesome. And just look at the artwork, like the hologram on the back of the DVD cover or Blu-ray cover. How cool is that? I love it. As always, collect what you love what you collect. Watch that trailer if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Huh, I need to watch this DVD again.